Welcome back to the land of the living.
It's like magic.
Has anyone found any other evidence that might lead to this actually being the man killer?
I might have found something.
I found a large bone. I think it's over there on the ground.
I could have sworn you had something else.
She's never wrong. Taylor, something is missing.
I'm gonna ask you what, and you better hope to God you give the right answer.
Isabel.
That was not the right answer.
Fame, fortune, a gosh dang moment of peace. What do I want most?
Roll to care.
Oh no, I care.
Oh, also, and Smoot just holds up a third human skull and just starts waving it around. Rolls Can I roll Intimidate with my human
That's
skull?
my dad!
Go ahead. Tell her something American. I'm waiting.
Well, hello there, foundlings, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Gate Chronicles. This is Season 1, Episode 25. I am your Game Master and host for today's episode and for this campaign. I don't know why I always say that. Anyway, my name is Emily, also known as Snow, and I also play in the other podcast, Sword Art Online Odd, so you should make sure you check out the other podcast as well, because we work hard on both, and both deserve equal amounts of love. But this one should get more. Just saying. Anyway, let's go around the table and introduce ourselves, dear players.
Hi, I'm Quentin from the podcast that should get more love, which is the Odd Campaign podcast. Thank you very much. But here, I am just a measly player. I'm not a GM. I only play one character right now, which is Charles Smoot, 57-year-old biology teacher born and raised in upstate New York, currently trying to get his money's worth.
Hi, I'm Jaden from Planet Earth. I don't have another podcast, but I'll be playing Finavir Avir. He's a bard and aspiring merchant.
Hi, I'm Andrew. You may know me from nowhere else because I don't really do anything else. I play Alan Taylor, the flannel-clad mad lad from Ohio.
Hi, I'm Zach. I play Alfred Kenneth Mest, an aspiring alchemical engineer looking to develop some medicines to help the people around him and hopefully not get eaten by a giant frog.
Well, you didn't, so that's always like a bonus.
Yeah, but I have to continue not being eaten by a giant frog.
You have big voice
These frogs will clearly grow up again and attack us again, and I have to be ready for this. For the impending frog army.
So the current list is
Frogmageddon.
The current list is plants, giant lizards, frogs, and praying mantises, right?
Wait until we get to add ghouls to the list.
The bandits were about the nicest ones. They didn't try to eat me.
They didn't try and eat us.
They just tried to kill you.
Oh, Zach, no, Zach, now you gave her ideas. There's going to be cannibal bandits out there.
No, you've just given her
bandits?
the idea. I don't think that was on her radar until you said something.
Bandibles?
Now shush.
Bandibles. Bandible Toast Crunch. Let's go, boys.
I'm just going to fold that thought up and put it in my pocket for a later date.
Bandible Toes
I'm-
Crunch.
So, let's pick up where we left off. It seems that a nice, relaxing bath was all you needed. Your muscle aches ebb, and the strong urge to sleep comes over you all, and you realize a lot of the day has already passed by. The sun has set, and you guys, briefly meeting outside of the bathhouse, you all make it back down to the wagons, or back up to the wagons, to sleep. So we're going to pass through that time. So, Finavir, after arising from the mud bath, you find that your skin feels silky smooth, and it's almost like your old skin has sort of peeled away, and it revealed this fresh new baby skin underneath.
Oh my gosh.
Did it do anything for my acid burns?
For your acid burns?
Yeah, I have 8 damage of acid burns right now.
No, it did not recover the acid burns, but it did soothe them a little bit.
Great.
But the area does look a lot smoother. It doesn't appear as irritated as it was before. And Smoot, you feel similarly. So that didn't come out. Similar.
I feel likewise.
You do. You feel just likewise.
And we're still fatigued, right?
You are fatigued. Actually, no, you guys would have been exhausted if you didn't rest for the hour.
But we would have while we were bathing, I'd imagine.
True. You bathed for an hour?
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I would have fallen asleep.
Okay.
Legitimately, I would have rested my head
Sure.
up on something, and I would have fallen asleep in the bath.
Sure. You are no longer exhausted. You are fatigued. If there is nothing else, you guys all go to sleep. And, and as you wake up, you hear the sound of some of the caravanners basically shouting back and forth, and you hear the wagons as doors open and close, and it sounds like things are being moved around quite a bit.
Oh no,
Do I heal for resting or?
Yes, you heal for resting.
Oh, I feel very limber. Oh, that's a good stretch.
So first I noticed that I didn't have a nightmare. Score.
Yeah, your rest was peaceful. In fact, after having such a relaxing bath, you had very good dreams.
Oh, nice. All right. I want to just, whatever state I'm in, I'll just walk outside
Okay.
and take a peek. Not even put on my shoes, but I'll stand at the last step and just kind of hang out the door with my arms.
Okay. Finavir, as you step outside, there is a terrible odor that hits your nostrils, but you've gotten used to it.
Morning.
But the wind and the breeze brushes your hair in just the right angle and direction that it actually gets you on your favorite side, and you look really good.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning to me.
Do I say anything suspect?
You see that outside there are a lot of the workers of the caravan running around in the more front wagons as though they are packing up.
I'll just go back inside. I'll tell everyone that they're packing up. Is everyone accounted for?
Wait.
I will now check.
Sound off. 1, 2, 3, 4.
5, 6.
Fast, come on. You know your integers. Pre-scold. Well, we gotta make sure everyone's here.
Is this an American ritual?
Well, hey, you joined right in, so apparently it's universal.
Be quiet. Everything is too loud.
What was that?
Smoot just gets right up in her ears.
She takes her pillow, Cece does, and she takes her pillow and flips over and just covers her head.
I have a headache. Please don't do that.
Wait, you just said people are packing up outside?
Yeah.
That means they're getting ready to leave.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we gotta get paid.
Smoot rushes out the door.
Taylor follows behind.
Okay. So, Alan Taylor, you jump out of your bunk and you see Smoot rush out the door and you follow after him. But you realize almost too late that you do not have your shoes on as you stumble out into the mud. And Smoot, you're just barreling forward, and I don't think you register that you're not wearing shoes.
Are you wearing
Hey,
clothes?
I'm in my undies. Oh no! I'm a grown 57-year-old man in my tidy whities.
Run back to sees Smoot, runs back. Finn.
Gotta
Oh,
get
gosh.
my money.
Give me his pants.
Gotta get my money.
I grab Smoot's clothes and I toss it to Finn. I toss it to Taylor.
I grab Smoot's pants and whatever clothes Finn tossed me, and I run after Smoot.
I'm not running. I would be power walking.
Have
so you
fun.
would catch up with me.
So, yeah, Alan Taylor, you are running. Did you get your shoes on, or are you
No.
just running? Okay.
No, I was too concerned with covering up the basically naked old man.
He's well built, though.
This is dad bod in tidy whities. This is not
true.
something that anyone should see.
He's well shaped.
He's charging through the streets in tidy whities while Alan Taylor, many steps behind him because Smoot is actually surprisingly fast for his age. You see him charging through the street, pale skin and all, mud covering his legs.
My base speed is faster than you, that's right.
Ow.
Because barbarians gain fast movement, which gives them a +10 to their base move speed.
That's really wow.
I catch up to him And I just throw his clothes at him and I say, clothe yourself, you heathen.
Well, I mean, come on. Kind of like these pants. They do fit well. But that's besides the point. We're going to get new clothes. They're going to be comfortable. We're going to have multiple sets. We're going to be able to wash them. It's going to be great. We're going to get paid.
That's all well and good. But you can't go running through town naked.
A scream erupts in the village.
As I'm bending over, putting my pants on.
Yes, your plumber's crack is showing. Well, there's a scream in the village that Smoot hears and Alan Taylor hears.
Do you want me to sense motive the scream to determine what its origin could be?
Yeah, sure.
Like what caused the person to scream? Is it me?
That would not be a sense motive. That would be a perception check.
Sure.
I'm going to try that too.
Okay. 26.
22.
Smoot, you're bending over and you look between your legs, and behind you, and Alan Taylor, you see his gaze between his legs staring a little bit more wide-eyed. But you turn and follow his eyes and you see that there are two young ladies standing behind you guys directly in full view of Charles Smoot and his tidy whities. And these women are flabbergasted by what they see. One of them covers their eyes. The other one throws a basket of bread over her head and the bread falls onto the ground and they just run off.
Not the bread.
Smoot,
I finished putting my pants on.
I swear if you get us a reputation for being streakers after we save this town.
I wasn't streaking anyone. I had pants on the whole time.
No.
I had
You
underwear
had
on.
small clothes on the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, that's all that really matters. It's not like I went skinny dipping in the public pond. That was college.
What's going on over here?
You hear as somebody comes marching towards you, and you turn your attention towards this figure, and you see that it is one of the town or village guards.
My apologies.
I heard there was a stripper in town.
I ain't a stripper, it's just my mildly senile friend here forgot to throw his clothes on this morning before he walked out the door.
Actually, what I'm currently doing is the reverse of stripping. I came out naked and I'm putting clothes on.
Ah, so an admission of guilt, I see.
What, putting clothes on is guilty in this town?
You came outside naked, not clothed. That is not allowed in this village.
He wasn't naked.
I wasn't naked.
He was just in his tidy whities.
Indecent exposure in the village is not legal.
What? When did I ever sign up to these laws?
I'm going to have to ask you to come with me
Well, where's that?
to the jail.
The jail?
I'm gonna knock
For what?
him. I'm gonna knock him on the back of the head with my fist. Smoot, you're an idiot. Let's go get this taken care of.
I thought you were knocking the guard on the back of the head.
Although it would have been great. We just
No.
knock him out and run.
No, I'm knocking Smoot on the back of his head for
Wait.
being a dipstick.
No, wait, don't I have, traveler's immunity? I'm with the caravan.
Sir, it is important for those who travel with the caravan to be aware of the laws of the villages that they travel
Well,
to.
I wasn't handled a pamphlet or anything.
That is not my responsibility.
So, I mean, you can make up any law and say I'm guilty.
You need to come with me, and you're going to need to fill out some paperwork.
But I can't read or write.
He just looks at you, looks you up and down.
Thought as much. Come along, then.
But the mayor wants to see me immediately. That's why I ran out in such a hurry.
Ah, yes. Everyone says the mayor needs to see them when they get in trouble with the law. Now, come along now.
And he starts to try to strong arm you.
I stand still.
I help the guard try to strong arm him.
It is your reposition check versus my CMD, so...
Nope.
The guard.
Is this far enough away that this is outside of Finn's problem zone?
Oh, absolutely.
Did Finn go into town with them? And then Finn
we're
isn't
in
there.
town.
Finn's not there.
No,
He doesn't
Finn's
know
hanging
what's
out with
going
Mest
on.
for the day. We're bros.
I refuse. You cannot. There must be representation before. I need a public attorney.
I'm your public attorney.
You don't know how to read or write. I want to redo. You also are illiterate. I want someone who can read.
Can you get me like a sheet from... do you guys have a school here?
I could do that, Taylor.
Shut up. Do you guys have like a school here or a place that youngins are taught?
They're taught in their homes.
Ah, dang it.
Are you looking for a mummy?
Not in that context.
All right, what is this that I have to go through? Let's just get it over with, whatever it is.
It's just some paperwork you have to sign.
Well, sign with what?
A pen.
Well, I can't write.
You can totally write.
Well, not anything that's legible to them.
That doesn't mean that it's not still your signature.
Well, but I'm not signing anything I
A
can't
doctor
read.
could hand me his signature and I'd be like, that is not English. That isn't cursive. That's not even Russian.
All you're going to have to do is sign on some paperwork acknowledging that you committed a crime. It's a first-time warning, but you got to sign on the line.
Well, I don't know what the paper says, so I'm not signing anything.
Okay, so he guides you over towards the jail, which does just so happen to be close by to the mayor's manor. It's actually just outside of it. It's actually just outside of it, to the left.
Hamble Gimber!
Near the archery range.
So Smooch shouts at the top of his lungs.
I wonder if we need to find a new party member.
This one might be in jail.
This one might be in jail.
He just said you get off with a warning.
Yeah, but I'm not signing
but he's
anything I
not
can't
cooperating. If he
Just
continues to
sign
not
something
cooperate.
That I can't read?
No, sign something in not your name. They don't know what your script is, so just don't sign your real name.
Okay, I got this.
Anyway, so you are brought over to the jail. It is a very simple area. I mean, most of the building appears to be made of a mixture of wood and mud. There appears to be maybe about 2 guards in there at a time, and only one very large cell.
Communal cells.
He guides you over to a table on the side, and he, after a moment, goes off and grabs a piece of parchment, which he brings back over, and it appears that it does have some writing on it.
All right, you gotta tell me what this says.
So all you have to do is sign on the line. All it says is that I, the aforementioned, am a criminal who broke the laws of Newern by, and then there's a little checkbox right there, and by streaking in the streets of Newern.
Okay, I got this. I sign a name.
Okay. What name do you sign?
I showed you what name I signed.
Our listeners didn't get to hear.
No. I'm looking at the paper. I want to know what he's signing.
You have to tell.
Can I sleight of hand to hide it from everyone?
No, you need to say it on air for the
I
audience.
don't want other people to hear. Can I sleight of hand to hide it from Taylor so he doesn't know? So he
Absolutely not. I want to see how you sign this.
Will you stop me if I sign something?
Okay, hold on. You can absolutely try to sleight of hand signing on the paper to hide. Actually, no, that'd be more like you could sleight of hand to like hide what you sign.
It's only a 9 anyways.
Can you beat a 9? No, you cannot.
So Charles Smoot starts to sign on the paper. He notices that Alan Taylor's kind of looking over his shoulder, being like, don't worry about it. And then he turns his body, like using his hulking shoulders to hide the paper. And he's using this tiny little pen this quill pen that he was given to sign. And the name he writes is Finavir Avir.
He writes it in English, obviously.
Oh, yeah. No, he writes it in English. It's not in their script.
So it's not Finavir Avir.
No, it is.
It's Finavir's name, but in a language that no one can read.
You hand over the paper to the guard, and he looks at it.
All right, thank you there, Mr.
You said it didn't matter. I can sign it.
What does it say?
It says Finavir of here.
All right,
He says, he asks for the pen.
I have the pen back.
Wait,
No.
you openly admitted this after trying to hide it from him.
Listen, it's already signed and the guard already has it.
Yeah, how does Alan Taylor react to hearing Finavir's name being signed on this paper?
I'm going to jab him in the side with my elbow. Hard enough for it to hurt, but not for it to deal any damage.
The guard notices you do this, and he says,
Aye, no roughhousing in the jailhouse.
That's assault. He should be charged with a misdemeanor.
Or would you rather be stoned for streaking in the streets?
What? Is that really the punishment for this?
Well, if you refuse to sign the papers...
I already signed the papers.
I'm saying him elbowing you would actually be akin to what the punishment would be.
All right, anyways, I've got to go meet Hamble Kimber. I don't have time for this.
and as
Justice has been served.
and as you leave, you do notice that he seems to write in their language, potentially the name of Finavir Avir.
You should have made up a bogus name like John Thompson.
What do you mean? This has more repercussions later. It's funnier that way.
No!
You're so rude.
Finavir has to get like a wagon license at some point to be a driver, and then it pulls up a record that he has in a town for streaking.
Yeah, in Newern. In Newern, he was arrested one time for streaking.
Wasn't me.
He wasn't even arrested. He was asked to sign a citation warning.
Pretty much.
I don't know what to say. Right crime, but wrong location.
Right crime?
Right crime, wrong location, according to Finavir.
Finn sleeps in the nude and he sleepwalks.
I can't be responsible for sleeping Finn.
No, this is why you take precautions to stop sleeping Finn. You're not responsible, but you're stopping him.
That's why I sleep in my clothes.
Well, congratulations. You have this is your first interaction with the law not being on your side, but you leave.
Congratulations.
Warrensburg?
Warrensburg's not the law. He's a rogue military agent.
I would not call that rogue. I would call that
I
Targaryen.
personally, as the GM, I love Warrensburg. I just think it's really funny how much you all hate him, but I love him.
If I didn't have such a strong devotion to Amali, I might have joined him by now.
I hear they've got great healthcare.
Oh, they do.
They have health care
Okay.
at all. That's great.
That's great.
Yeah,
comparatively.
Their healthcare is if you bite someone, they kill you.
So, Charles Smoot, you leave the jailhouse along with Alan Taylor. What do you do?
I go up to the mayor's house and I start knocking on the door.
On the way, I want to whisper to him. So, how does it feel to be guilty of streaking and fraud?
What? I'm not guilty of streaking. That's Finavir.
You just committed fraud and you absolutely were streaking.
I don't know the customs here. They didn't say, I don't know if I have to sign my name or not.
That's fair. He never said sign your name. He just said sign.
Sign right here. I didn't say what to sign.
That's a good point.
As far as the streaking goes, that's bogus. I was in my tidy whities.
Smoot. If
What?
you were in your tidy whities in New York, you'd absolutely be charged with indecent exposure.
What do you mean? Half of my high school classes were taught that way.
Not only is that indecent exposure, that's indecent exposure against minors. Sicko.
No, don't worry. That was a valuable teaching lesson to a lot of them.
How do you still have... Do you even have a valid teaching license? Or did it get revoked on account of the... What is wrong with you?
What do you mean? I had 4.8 stars on Google reviews.
Google reviews means nothing. You can pay people to give you good reviews.
I mean, I wouldn't have done that.
Well, actually, no. Now that I think about it, you can't. Not on a teacher's salary.
So it doesn't take you guys very long to reach the front of the mayor's manor. But I'm going to split off from you guys and check back in with Finavir and Alfred Kenneth Mest, who are in the wagon still.
Oh,
So, what are you two up to?
this is actually a good time for this. So, Mest, I noticed you're quite gifted with alchemy. I take out my bugs, and I'm going to use one in front of him. I'll do my Cure Light Wounds.
Okay, sure. You crush the insect in your hand, and the strange glowing aura that usually emanates from it comes out, and it travels towards your wounds, and it heals you.
Which is enough to recover me. Were you always so gifted?
Not really. I actually had to do a lot of chemical reaction studies in order to get into the field I was in before I came here. At this point, it's more or less just mixing the right ingredients together, sort of like cooking, but more science-y.
Well, that's usually what's taught, exactly what to do and how to do it. Not exactly understanding how the reactions work. I know how to heal myself. I read books on people who used to do this, and I got some tips through someone who passed in through town. Amali had a few pointers for me too, surprisingly. But I can't say that I completely understand it down to the level that you do. I was just wondering a bit of how you learned your craft and whatnot.
Well,
So were you always such a good healer?
again, no. It came from a lot of studying and learning to brew things together.
Oh, after your studies, did you, were you at least renowned in your village?
No, not at all. No, not really.
Oh, well, I appreciate you at very least. Well, we should, I guess there's not much to prep.
Are
Oh,
we sure we should have let Smoot and Alan go talk to the mayor by themselves? I have a bit of a feeling that might have been a bad idea.
well, I'd look at it this way. I think the reason Amali didn't come with us was to teach us a lesson. And I think, not going with Smoot will be a very similar experience.
That man was a teacher, not a learner.
Burn.
That's a good point.
Could you show me a bit of what you do?
Yeah, you can help me make a few more healing potions. It's always better to have a backup plan for when things go awry.
Okay. So, Mest, you have to roll your craft alchemy.
22.
Cure mod or cure light? What are you making?
Cure light wounds.
Yeah. You are able to make your potion, but as you finish up, you hear somebody from the caravan shouting, "Already! Get ready to head out!"
I've been with them for a while. Does that mean that they're leaving right now?
They're getting ready to head out.
All right. We are missing some passengers. So I am going to run out, and Mest, if they try to leave without us, I need you to stall.
I'll do what I can.
All right. If you have trouble, find David. He's really good at this.
Wait,
And,
where's David?
I get my shoes on, my bandolier, and book it.
Okay. So you hop out of the wagon. As you do, you actually see the huntsman, and he is basically getting stuff ready in his wagon, and he notices you running out, and he basically just says,
Are you sure you want to be heading out right now?
Well, leave no man behind.
We'll be heading out soon. Next few minutes. Make it fast.
I'll do my best.
okay, so we have to pan back over to you guys because there's no way the thing in the jail did not take an hour.
That's true.
All right, so you guys outside were having to flash back in time outside of the mayor's manor. You notify the guard that you are there to see him. He looks at you warily, but after a moment, he does let you in, and he actually guides you to the mayor's office.
Just to clarify, at this point, Smoot has put on all of his clothes.
I'm glad.
Just to make that as crystallized as possible.
Mayor Hamblegimber is sitting at his desk, and he appears to be holding a magnifying glass up to a small red stone, and he seems to be examining it when you guys enter.
Good morning, Hamblegimber.
Morning.
Good morning.
So as previously stated yesterday, we would meet you here today, and as you can see, here we are.
So it would seem. He continues to examine the gem for a moment before putting it down in the magnifying glass. So, I see that you have stuck around. Woo!
Only till we get what's due to us, as last time I checked there was an agreement.
A hypothetical agreement.
Oh, I thought there was an agreement in front of the entire town that you said you would pay us, but maybe that's just me.
He looks you up and down, both of you, eyeing you suspiciously. Well, if that's how you want to play it, then fine. Have you guaranteed that we won't have these problems in the future?
That wasn't the agreement. You hypothetically asked us to come back with proof that we'd killed the monster.
A hypothetical monster.
The hypothetical
that was
monster.
terrorizing a hypothetical town. And from last time I checked, we did indeed find a creature which had evidence to have terrorized said town, and we dispatched of it and brought back proof of doing so.
Oh, congratulations! And he claps his hands very slowly as well as insincerely.
Hey, you want to make with the sarcasm? How about you go kill the giant frog?
I'm just saying, it was a hypothetical creature. Hypothetically, we might not have any money to give you.
Well, quite literally, there were about 18 people yesterday who seemed to think otherwise.
Well, if that's what you want and payment is all you seek, then I would ask after you receive your payment that you leave and never come back.
Perfectly fine, all well and good by me.
Absolutely, we plan to leave as soon as we get our payment. Heading out with the caravan.
Very well. And he gets up from his table, scooting back. He struggles a little bit getting out of his chair as he seems to be stuck, but after a moment he does release himself, and he gets up and he walks over to a safe in the room, which he seems to jingle with a little bit, and then he opens it and he pulls out a sack of coins, which he throws on the floor in front of you. There you go.
I counted.
That might take the hour.
Seriously, you're going to sit there and count all of the coins.
Taylor's a stickler, and he likes numbers.
There are 3 1,000 coins in the bag.
Mayor Hamblegimber, with all due respect, you said if this is what we desired, what other alternative would we have? Did you just expect us to do this philanthropically for you?
I don't trust adventurers. You come into town destroying things and then you expect rewards.
Destroying things?
Didn't destroy anything except for the creature you asked us to destroy.
Previous experience would dictate that I don't trust adventurers. How are you any different?
We took care of a creature that was terrorizing your town. One of our party members handed out potions and healing cells, which ended up saving some of your townsfolk. Maybe you should readdress your biases before working with other people.
I mean, I heard that one of you was found streaking in the town.
That was
Allegedly.
and that was just Finavir. Don't pay him any mind.
Finavir, wasn't he that weirdly strange fellow with the lute?
He sleepwalks.
In the daytime?
Hey, you gotta sleep when you can.
He's a late sleeper.
Interesting. Anyway, please take the coins and leave. It is 3,000 pieces, all counted.
Sir, I do hope you have a better experience with adventurers, and I hope nothing poor comes of this experience with us. To our best knowledge, we did take care of the creature that was plaguing your town, and I hope that you have no further issues.
All right, please leave. I have much more I need to do.
Taylor, pick up the sack.
All right, fine. I'll wrap it up. How high did I get to count while they were doing that?
100.
Yeah, no, you got to up to maybe about 200. Okay. You got to 200. You're fast at counting coins.
I'm just making sure this is at least roughly how much he promised.
Oh, you know what? You're right. The tax was taken out of that as well.
Who did you tax?
He gestures.
You taxed travelers?
Somebody's got to pay for the wall.
Certainly not him.
I'm sorry.
Taylor, don't waste your breath.
I really do hope Williams or Spot has a surviving copy of our Constitution. I would love to show it to a whole lot of towns.
I hope there's still an angry frog that eats him.
And I just walk out the door.
You are the reason he hates adventurers.
I hate adventurers. Thinking they're above the law. Okay, so you guys leave.
Yeah. I get my elk out of the stables. And while I'm there, and we have coin, I ask the stable master if there's a reliquary in town.
He says yes, it is right by the archery range.
Oh, so that's right in the same compound.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I would just literally walk across the quad.
So the stables are actually on the other side of another fence. So you have to go out, back over, and back in, passing through the mayor's manor again. This takes you about 10 minutes.
That's fine.
So you have probably about 15-ish minutes left.
Oh, there's plenty of time before Finavir starts shouting through the town. All right, I would make my way into the reliquary.
Okay. Alan Taylor, are you following him or do you return to the wagon?
I'll follow him around.
Okay.
By the way, how much should I write down that was in the bag?
You got 2,900.
Okay. That's not that bad.
So, Charles Smoot, Alan Taylor, you make your way over towards the reliquary, and actually, you notice that this building is a little bit strange. As you enter it, you can't help but note that the building seems to be more sturdily built than the others around it. While the walls are made of a similar mud material, you see that there are metal rods extending from various parts, or seemingly creating the overall structure of the building, as if it was some sort of protective framework. The door entrance also seems to be made of a mixture of mud, wood, and metal. It is a building with no apparent windows, and entering in, the only source of light seems to emanate from a red, glowing raised pit near the northern side of the room. And as the door closes, you hear a solid thud and the sound of metal latches closing behind you.
This place looks like a war bunker.
That's neat.
It's dimly lit in here with this glowing red light. The entire room seems to be filled with a sort of steam that seems to somewhat dampen your skin.
This place seems a little more established than the rest of the town.
Taylor, can you see anything? I've got cataracts. The place looks blurry to me.
I don't know. Can I see anything?
Why don't you make a perception check? Both of you.
19.
Guess my cataracts aren't that bad right now.
The perception's 18,
Okay.
but I don't have low light vision.
You both notice the sound of water dripping onto the floor and a quiet, wet, squelching sound from behind you, which draws your attention. You look, and you see behind you a hunched-over humanoid frame lurking behind you in the shadows. She stares at you with red, beady eyes underneath perpetually wet strands of hair that cover an equally slimy face that juts out unusually. In fact, her entire face is unusual. There's no apparent human nose to speak of, other than 2 slits towards the center of her face. Her mouth covers almost the entire width, and you can barely make out that her skin has a reddish hue to it and a faint pattern. You sense some sort of amphibian likeness in her form.
Good morning. There, are you the owner of the relic, the houser, keeper of the reliquary here?
Yes. How can I help you?
We're just wondering what you got on display for sale.
As you look around the room, you notice that there are none of the black boxes that you remember seeing at Leah Moore's. And Ellen Taylor, you also remember seeing these inside of Popeye's wagon, but you don't see them anywhere inside of here.
I have wares, but they are safe.
Meaning?
They are safe.
And she has her fingers up close to her face as she's making these little tiny gestures.
Does that mean we can't purchase them?
You may make purchase if you choose.
May we not see them beforehand?
Well, I mean, at least how do we know what they are? You have a list?
I can tell you. Hana knows all.
Well, I'd be delighted to hear about any of them, Hana.
She describes to you several different objects. One of them sounds like it's something that if you throw it, it creates a sort of trap area, like really sticky webs. It is 15 silver for that. She describes another thing that she calls essentially a harmony lamp, and it can be used to help bring a situation back down to earth, so to speak.
And how much is that?
That is 30 silver. She describes another one that can essentially, if you place one side of the relic down and then you take the other part to another location, you can use it to build a bridge. That is 500 silver. Another one is a sort of enhancement for your body, but it's like a patch that you put on your skin, and it can help you become faster for 1 hour. That is 15 copper. And one that she finds very interesting and very strange is she describes it in a way that it's sort of shaped like a gun with a little trigger that you press down, and it sprays out this strange bubbling liquid that when it hits a surface, it can actually make it so that you can pass through it.
That's probably one of the coolest tabletop items I've ever heard of.
Well, there's another enhancing patch that can be put on your skin that actually helps you to heal. I can actually give you guys, I'm just trying to give you guys some flavor text, but this one is called a Rejuvenator. It heals 8d4 points plus 8 hit points of damage.
Oh! How much cost?
That's 200 silver.
Oh.
Then she describes something, but she does say that this one would require it to be implanted on your body, but it is the Sunfire Crown. It is required to basically be placed onto your head and put into your skull. It replaces the top and back part of your head. It always produces a bright golden light filling a 10-foot sphere centered on you. Though impressive, the implant interferes with your rest and you regain 1 less hit point than normal when you sleep. And it has 4 charges and regains charges daily, so it's rechargeable. And when a charge is expended, the crown seems to ignite with a light as bright as the sun, surrounding you with a bright light in a 60-foot radius for 1 minute. That is also 200 silver. And then she describes something that is a metal box that has wheels on the side of it. If you take the metal badge that it comes with and you put it on your person and you walk, this box, which essentially has these wheels, will follow after you trying to keep up with the metal badge. It is called a carry-all. It can carry, it's mostly hollow and can hold up to 5,000 pounds, but it can only carry a certain sized objects.
So it's like it's like a wagon?
Automatically follows the badge.
And how much is that?
That is 100 silver.
Is this a charge base? Like, is there a set distance? Or
She says that these sorts of items, unfortunately, they can last for a while, but due to the amount of weight that they carry, usually their power runs out over time. And for this, she says she does not know how long it will run. Essentially, for you, if you are to use it, it has a depletion of 1 in 1d20, and it's every day that you use it, you roll a check. When you roll a 1, it depletes its power, and there's a 50% chance that instead of ceasing to function entirely, its carrying capacity is reduced by half.
Okay, that's interesting. Does she have multiple of some of these, or is it
Some
just one of
them,
each?
yes.
How much of each one does she have?
So the detonation of webs explodes when it hits a creature or solid object, releasing sticky strands of goo that last for 1 hour. Creatures within a 10-foot radius of the sphere must succeed on reflex saving throw DC 13 or be restrained as long as they remain in the webs until they break free, etc. The other one is called the Harmony Lamp, and the interior of this crystal orb intermittently glows even in its passive state. When activated for the next hour, it emits a combination of colored light, gentle sound, and subtle odors, and healing nanobots that permeate a 30-foot radius sphere, which can make everyone more open-minded and relaxed. Creatures who have made up their minds about a topic may be open to revisiting the issue, and everyone gains a +3 circumstance bonus on handle animal, diplomacy, and diplomacy rolls.
Does this thing have multiple charges? How does it work? Do I light a candle? Do I just use some voodoo magic and will it to work?
It is single use.
Okay. How many of each of these things do you have?
I have 2 of the lamps and 3 of the little bombs. 1 bridge builder.
And then the other one was called a speed boost. You gain a +2 enhancement on dexterity ability checks for 1 hour. As long as the patch is attached to your skin, that is also single use. Most of these are single use. The more expensive they are, usually they're multi-use or broken they are. She says,
I have 10 of those, but I do not recommend taking more than 3, as per usual.
then the other one is called a phase disruptor. That is the little gun that basically shoots out foam.
Oh, we know. How many? Just the one?
I have 5.
And how many uses are those?
1 use.
I feel like these are all going to be one-time, one-off things. Except for maybe that Sunfire Crown. That thing sounded wild. But I don't know if I feel like having something implanted into my skull. No.
Yes.
Come on, don't you want to be a cyborg?
Before I can let you purchase, I would need to see your relationship with the guild.
Oh, she means our badges. Yeah.
To hold out our
Fledgling
initiate
badges.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, I see you are initiates. Well, very well. I do not recommend getting anything implanted until you have more experience.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like tattoo. It's like getting a tattoo of your girlfriend. You don't want to regret that 20 years down the line.
For the rejuvenator patches, she has 3. The crown is 1, and that is a remaining use kind of thing. And the carry-all is multi-use, but with a depletion. And she only has 1 of those.
I'll take 2 of the bubble guns.
Okay, so that's 80 silver per. So that's 160 silver.
And how will you be paying? Crow or with regular coin?
I pull silver from the bag of 2,900.
Ah, very well.
She takes her hands, which you actually notice are webbed, and when she places it on the counter to grab the coin, a wet splat happens, and she just grabs it and slides it off.
Nice.
And you see this big wet spot on the counter. Okay, so you take 2 of those. What are you carrying on you currently?
I don't have any relics.
Okay.
I just have my clothes and my spear. And hold on, let's see. I have rope, some normal torches, rations, a water skin,
A gun.
Ah, yes.
My gun. Shameful American.
Shameful.
Yeah,
That's-
you didn't mention your gun.
Oh. So what did you call those phase disruptors?
Yeah, they're called phase disruptors.
Hana, I will admit that I am woefully ignorant in a lot of things, and your wisdom may be very well appreciated. How much do you know about the going-ons of this town?
I do not leave.
Do you know anything about any potential giant frogs plaguing the city?
She blinks like one eye slowly and then the other one.
I am not sure. I stay here.
There was an altercation regarding some of these creatures, and in the process, I found something. Something I did not recognize. It seemed peculiar to me, but I did not know if it would have any value. A good friend of mine, Leomore, he was the reliquary master of Ashby. He would always appraise things for me. Would you mind taking a look at something?
She nods and closes both eyes as she does like a slow head nod and then opens her eyes back up.
I pass her this bag of rocks that I found at the bottom of the lake.
Okay. You pass her a bag of rocks.
I don't know if these are just ordinary or if they have any special properties to them, but I found it odd. They were kept in a bag, relatively preserved at the bottom of a lake where these frogs were living.
She opens the bag up and her wet, webbed hand goes inside and you hear it like squelching against the rocks, and she pulls out some and she appears to be examining them, and she puts one in her mouth and seems to suck on it for a second, then spits it back out and puts it back in the bag.
These are just gems.
Gems, you say? Any particular gems? Are they of any value?
I am not an expert on them. I know relics, but I do not know stones.
Very well. Thank you. It's much appreciated. I've always found the reliquaries to be a great place of knowledge. As for your wares, I was actually interested. I guess I'm going to be at my carrying limit today. I'll buy one of the web detonators, a harmony lamp, and the carry-all.
Very well. How will you be paying today? With crow or with regular coin?
I've heard the term thrown around a couple of times, but to be quite honest, I haven't seen or heard that much about crow. I assume that it's affiliated with the Seekers, but I don't know anything about it.
She slowly nods.
So I'll be paying with regular coin if that is to answer your question.
Very well.
So you said the detonation web?
Yep.
Harmony lamp
Mhm.
and the carry-all?
Yep. One each.
I assume you're retrieving this silver from the mass bag of silver that we just got?
He has money.
Where did you have other money from?
I want my even share of what's in that bag.
Oh, yeah.
I have my own funds.
I deducted from an even fifth of the money what I spent.
You owe her 145 silver.
I give her that from my share of silver that I have.
Okay. She walks over to the counter and goes around the other side and seems to unlatch at least 10 different latches on this door that are behind it. And then she goes back and is gone for several minutes, and you hear some sort of like grunting sound in the back. And then after a few moments, she comes back up front, lugging these things, and appears she is carrying all of them in different like separate boxes, which she actually has on top of the carry-all, which is dragging behind her as she holds the little metal emblem in front of her, and it follows her out, and you hear like the little whirring of the wheels. It has very tiny wheels. It doesn't look like it would do very well traveling in difficult terrain, but it would be decent for traveling on well-paved roads and whatnot, like, and stuff like that.
You have all the money from the monster sale, don't you? Didn't even think of that. Totally forgot.
I did sell it.
Yep. And I was there for that, but I forgot.
You did.
So I forgot.
You did. I just used all that money and I'm still going to get my share from the mayor.
So you receive your items. She actually makes you guys stand at a really far distance from each other as
course,
you
yeah.
receive them.
Sure.
Remember, avoid carrying too many.
Of course. Well, I wish you the best of luck, Hana, and who knows, maybe we'll be seeing you around.
She smiles as one of her kind can.
Right before I'm about to leave, I stop myself.
I know you said you don't leave much, but how much do you know about Mayor Hamblegimber?
I do not leave.
At all? Ever?
This is my home.
How do you get food?
It is brought.
What if they stop bringing it?
Then I would die.
Why don't you leave?
She gestures to herself.
Discrimination.
Fear.
She does appear to be a little bit sad when she explains that she can't leave. But then she also says,
The sun also hurts.
I can see you have this whole steam thing rigged up. I can imagine that the harsh sun the temperatures probably wouldn't be too great.
she shakes her head in agreement.
I definitely feel like that. My back had been killing me for the longest time due to the temperatures.
Her eyes seem to grow a little wide when you say that, almost in confusion.
Yeah, I don't know. For a little bit, apparently my back skin was peeling off, but then I took one of the mud baths and it seemed to help.
She smiles and nods.
Leomore wasn't too keen on what it could be. He said, maybe it's a curse of the forest, but hopefully not. So,
Hopefully not.
well, Hana, I must say you have probably been the most pleasant individual I have had the pleasure of dealing with in this entire town, and I hope all is well with you.
She curtsies.
You have a nice day, ma'am.
Smoot would take his stuff and wave as he leaves and start to
Okay.
head back.
As you open the door, you see that she shirks away as the light streams in through the door, and she waits for you to leave. And as you do, the door closes behind you almost automatically, and you hear the sound of latches closing inside.
All right.
Yay, you met Hana!
We did.
So, you guys are loaded up. You have your carry-all with you. You see that it could probably fit relatively well, about basically a cubic foot of items inside of it.
A cubic? Like a foot?
Yeah,
Is that small?
it is small, but it can carry 5,000 pounds.
What's that dense?
Well, you'll be
Tungsten.
happy. You'll be happy that it can carry that much when its carry weight is halved.
I was hoping that like it could it carry a small creature?
Like a dog?
Like Patrick.
Wheel Patrick around, it's his baby carriage.
Maybe.
Okay, so because 1 cubic foot's really
Why
small.
don't you roll use magic device for me?
It's a good roll, but I have like nothing in use magic device. Luckily, it's not a trained skill. Oh wait, no, it is a trained skill. I can't roll use magic device.
Okay.
You tried.
I physically cannot use this.
Tried my best and I didn't succeed in my whole life. I'm sorry. That's like 2 different songs, but it's fine. Okay, so your little carry-all is following behind you.
It is?
You have the badge, right?
I do.
She gave it to you.
She did.
It's following behind you. No less than, I believe it says it will stay within 10, it'll try to stay within 10 feet of you.
Can I just pick it up and carry it?
You try. It is very heavy.
How heavy?
It is very heavy.
Define.
Quinton, heavy.
Can we lift it together?
When you try to lift it, it seems to increase its own weight as if it doesn't want to be picked up.
So how do we turn it off? I put the thing back on the cart.
You're able to pick it up.
Okay, very nice.
It has anti-theft.
Not really.
Well, not for the cargo, but for the cart.
Yeah, you can't steal it. It's like a car alarm. Except
You
instead of
don't
going,
have to. You don't have to steal it. You have to steal the pin.
instead of going wee woo, the car just gets 3 times heavier.
The box follows the badge at a speed of 30 feet, always attempting to remain within 10 feet of it.
Jaden, write down your item.
You didn't
He
get it?
doesn't have it yet.
I'm not taking notes on this. This isn't mine.
He doesn't have it yet.
Keyword yet. I'm not keeping track of this.
What's its name? Carry-all?
It's the carry-all.
It's the caravan's carry-all.
When you do receive it, I'm going to have you roll a use magic device on it, by the way, to use the full function. You couldn't use the function.
I couldn't use the What's the function?
I guess we'll just have to
I guess
find
we'll have
out.
to find out. Yeah, absolutely.
Next time.
No, this time on the gate. I'm not done.
So, you guys make your way back to the wagons, and you actually see Finavir start running in, looking wildly frantic.
Smoot!
Yeah, Finavir.
The caravan's leaving. We gotta go. I like grab Taylor and Smoot by the collars and like yank
Oh,
them.
you do not want us to be that too close to each other, or else you're going to get sucked into a black hole and die.
What?
Well, I mean, I don't know how these artifact relicy thingies work. Don't put us that close together, Fenrir. Think about it.
To follow close, we gotta go.
That's fine.
I would start, jauntily walking after him.
Okay. Are you carrying the carryall?
I am carrying the carryall.
Okay, so he's carrying the carryall. You notice that he is carrying a little metallic-looking box that looks relatively sturdy and has it's like got black accents on it and silver.
Ooh. Give me a second. I'm gonna write that down.
You guys come running. As the doors on the caravan are closing, you actually see the drivers on the different wagons actually are lifting up their reins and getting ready to make the wagons move out.
All right. Do we make it? Do we need to make rolls?
You make it. Your wagon actually starts to lurch forward as you guys run up to it, and the door is wide open. David is literally looking around frantically. Where have you guys been? Why? What?
Well, there ain't no minute like the last minute.
And you guys are able to launch yourselves into the back of the wagon. And now you're back on the road.
On the road again.
I haven't had this much stress in ages. I was trying to get to my college finals.
We all know you didn't finish that.
I did. I just barely made it in time for it to start, though.
Oh dear. I'm so glad to be back. Oof. So, what are you guys all up to?
I got a bubble gun that makes things not exist.
Oh, that,
Do we get paid in items?
Fenrir owes me 150 silver.
Hey, for what?
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I'll keep the wagon then.
You have a wagon?
And I kind of defensively hold the black box.
Ooh. This, Fenrir, was defined to me as a carry-all box. From what I understand how it works, there's this little medallion thingy you have here. And whenever you walk with this, the box will follow you wherever you go.
So it's like a backpack that doesn't have to stay on your back.
Absolutely. I would be careful what kind of ground you're going on. The wheels are really small. I don't know how well it would do through mud or a bunch of tree roots. I don't think I can get over those things very well or through them.
Well, I mean, so long as it can carry sufficient weight, it should at least help me carry around some supplies.
Oh.
20 pounds of salt.
by the way, the carryall itself on its own is 15 pounds when it is not in don't take me mode. And the detonation of webs is 2 pounds. The harmony lamp is 1. And the phase disruptors are 2 each.
Well, Fenrir, if you wanted and somehow found a way to fit it in this box, apparently, according to Hana, the very nice frog lady who runs the reliquary, this could carry 5,000 pounds of salt.
If you could fit it in there.
That is a lot of salt.
It's a lot of salt.
It's exactly 2.5 tons.
Good job, Taylor. You did math.
Oh, you guys are so noisy.
Cece just sits up from her bunk.
It's the middle of the day. Why are you trying to sleep?
It's
Just
like
our
noon,
youngsters these
young
days.
lady.
My brain is hurty. David taught me that.
And how did your brain do the hurting? Or rather, why?
She just sighs and then lays back down on her bunk.
Oh, yeah. Taylor, I picked up one of the lamps.
Cool. Now we have drugs.
These aren't drugs.
It is a drug lamp, and you cannot convince me otherwise.
It's like it's a happy lamp, Taylor.
It's a disco ball.
It's not really kind of.
It's a psychedelic diplomacy lamp.
It's aromatherapy.
Essential oils.
To describe how it was described to me, if anyone ever gets uppity, don't use this sparingly. It's single use. It's got 1 charge, but when you use it, apparently it makes everyone within the 30 feet radius calm down and be more soothed. It has fancy dancing lights, pleasant smells. Hopefully, if anything bad ever happens, it could diffuse the situation.
So theater therapy.
Sure, if you want to think about it like that, Fenrir.
Huh. So I wasn't the first to think of it.
And these 2 things are why you owe me 150 silver.
I hate to tell you this, but I'm a bit strapped right now.
Well, that's why we got the reward. Everyone gets 580.
The Americans actually got us paid.
I'm sorry, what was that? You want to say that again?
No, I don't, actually. You were talking about coin.
Yep. And I will divvy out the 580 that everyone is owed.
Okay, so hold on.
Minus what I spent from mine.
It takes you a good 15 minutes to make sure you count out all the coins properly, because you're like having to separate them into piles. And occasionally when you guys are riding on the road, there's a bump and all the coins kind of splay back together.
Ah, gosh darn it, Taylor, keep the pile straight.
Does anyone got bags so we can just start putting it in bags before it's all sorted out? Just do it in tens.
I have a small coin purse we can use. And she takes her bag and just opens it. A little moth flies out.
And I start loading it until it's full.
That was mildly comedic, and nobody laughed. I'm sorry, I tried.
I'm concerned with how it got in there.
Oh, I caught it and I put it in there.
Why would you catch a moth and put it in there?
I attempt to catch the moth.
Okay.
How did you catch the moth?
Okay, go ahead and roll a reflex.
18.
You catch it. It flies out and you're able to like grab it really quickly without killing it.
I add it to my bug collection.
It will be dead shortly.
Oh, well, it was sort of just stuck up there, and she points towards the ceiling.
Oh, okay. Then, Taylor, you can just load up my satchel.
I give everyone their silver.
Okay, you do so.
And the monster sale. You sold the frog, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, what was the sum total of that?
You better figure it out.
Okay, the line. Ask the huntsman.
No, but you don't remember?
Well, I mean, like, I got money and I spent money because I bought you the wagon and everything.
Wait, wasn't it like 300 something?
Wait, you were there?
Yeah, I was standing by the side of the wagon.
First off, like, considering how much money I had, like, it was definitely not any more than 150.
I honestly don't remember. She just smirks a little. I'm somewhat scarred by the fact that nobody laughed about the moth in a bag joke.
I get it. We're all broke, but now we're significantly less broke. Not only are we not broke, but this currency's kind of heavy.
It's actually one of my favorite tropes in the books I used to read. I appreciated it on the inside very much.
I would really appreciate if you would appreciate it on the outside.
Duly noted.
Never mind, don't do that ever again.
Verbal puns are always better than visual puns.
Okay, so I used the money that I got from selling the frog to buy Finevir's stuff. And Finevir's stuff cost 150 silver, which means technically that was everybody's money, so Finevir owes everyone 30 silver.
Oh, okay. However you want to do it, as long as it's fair.
I really don't need that money. I'm fine with just getting this.
I mean, this is a pretty large lump sum, so...
Are you sure? I'm pretty insistent on being fair.
Wait a second, Mr. Smoot.
Cece, doesn't your brain hurty?
My brain do hurty.
Good for you. You'd like to chime in on this conversation then?
My brain do hurty, but I remember, Mr. Smoot, that there was a purchase made not that long ago for a certain somebody here whose name starts with Smoot.
Starts with.
Hey, your name starts with Smoot.
Actually, it starts with Charles.
Yeah, that's true. My name does not start with Smoot.
Not for me, it doesn't.
I don't know who you're talking about then.
You know what I mean.
Actually, as far as you're concerned, my name starts with Mr.
She thinks for a moment.
Oh, he's so darn it. That's right.
She's right, her brain do hurty.
Point is, I'm pretty sure you still owe her for the book.
I don't even remember. How much even was that? Wasn't it only like 500 silver or something?
It was 700.
What? That's outrageous. Why would you buy such a ridiculous book? What is even in the thing? You haven't even taught me how to read that thing yet.
Because you gave me this look of I don't have money and I am poor.
And she opens up a little purse right next to her and a little moth flies out.
Why is everyone doing this? What is this gang?
Good jokes come in groups of 3.
Where's the third one coming from?
Mest opens his.
Smoot opens up his purse, which is now soon to be empty. A moth flies out. He was not.
No, the coins fly out.
It's fine. You'll just have to buy me something when we get to what is that
Okay,
place?
listen. Lamb's Respite.
Lamb's Respite, yeah, that place.
I'm not paying you until I can actually read what's in the book. If you help me decipher what the contents are, then I'll pay you back.
You're illiterate?
I can't read your current language.
But you speak our language.
Yes, because it's very similar to my language.
Wait. So you can't read. Your brain do hurty when you try to read.
Your magic symbols, yes.
They're not magic symbols, they're letters.
You want to run me through the alphabet then?
Don't you have like cataracts or something?
I do, but that is not what we're talking about at this very moment. I'll show you my alphabet. You can show me yours.
I was thinking the same thing.
All right.
Kelsey just bursts out laughing.
What?
All right, I'll teach you to be literate. Well, hey, we have some time before Lamb's Respite anyway.
All right, sounds good.
I also want to learn to read.
If you spend all 6 days of this traveling, studying, and like this is what you do for the entire day, for the entire period, you would be able to be literate enough to read. Writing is still going to be a little wonky because you can't really write as the wagon's bumping up and down, but you guys will be literate enough to read.
Should we put a rank in linguistics or anything, or just add it to our languages?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Okay.
You learn that the alphabet name is essentially Arthdal, Arthdal.
Art thou ready to learn?
Get backed. It is the curse of being a GM. Anything you say, anything you put effort into will be turned into a meme.
Indeed. So you guys essentially have 6 days. It is of the downtime for those of you who have decided that it is time to learn how to read. That is what you do for the 6-day period. You are not allowed to do any other downtime activities because that is actually does take. Normally, it takes 5 days to retrain a skill. So that's basically what we're going to be air quote be doing with this. A skill rank, that stuff. I think it makes sense.
Sure.
Okay.
Do you think is there any way that during the whole trip I could pull Amalia aside out of Cece's earshot?
It would have to be late one evening, and if he wakes up.
Whatever you feel like is fair, you tell me if it's possible or if it's not.
Okay. Mest, what would Mest be doing over the 6-day period?
I figured I'd just practice reading as well.
Okay, so you will be doing that as well. Okay. As I said earlier, the caravan pulled away from the village of Newern, with the hum of the marsh continuing in the background as the wheels of the wagons bumped along the shoddy road. While the excitement of reaching Lamb's Respite is palpable, another emotion silently looms in the background. Sitting at the table by the window, David, Cece, and Kelsey pass the time, mostly by playing cards, and you guys are learning how to read from some parchment as Pinevere writes letters on a page and you struggle to understand what he is writing. But as this is happening, every now and again you hear an audible sigh erupt from Cece's lips as she stares out the window, wistfully sighing. And the sighing continues for many, many days. And also, strangely enough, as the days pass, Amali continues to sleep.
As in, he doesn't wake up? Or, like, does he just sleep?
He continues to sleep.
Okay, after the second day of Amali continuing to sleep and not seeming to get up, my character would poke him to make sure he's alive.
You can see that he's breathing.
I poke him till I get a reaction.
He's been turning in his sleep, and he turns, but he doesn't seem to wake up.
I continue poking him.
Okay. You continue to poke him. You kind of hear a mumbled, "Stop it, please." And then he turns.
Okay, you're not dead at least.
Cece looks over, her chin resting in her hand.
Oh, he gets like that sometimes. You just have to leave him alone.
He stays unconscious for about 2 days in a row.
Well, I think he normally stays awake most nights. Sometimes, actually, there was this one time he slept for 14 days straight.
I think that's called a coma.
Really? That's interesting. I think he goes
I would
into those
put it
often.
more in the coma category, but I didn't realize we were in Dragon Ball.
Huh?
Stories of grandeur, basically.
Interesting. No, this is not some Dragon Ball. This is a wagon, and Amali is asleep. He normally does this right before he goes back to, going to the whole Seeker's base and going on missions. I don't think he usually sleeps on those.
Did he sleep regularly when I was with him? For the 4 or 5 months?
When you hear this, you actually start to think about this. And the more you think about it, the more you start to realize you never kept watch once.
Well, he kept offering.
And it occurs to you now that he might not have slept at all.
Huh. I can't say as I ever remember watching him sleep when he would keep offering to keep watch, and I would keep letting him. Because, freeze.
Yeah, we know. Freeze.
Well,
Free.
I mean, he should be fine. Normally, you just have to shove some water down his throat, but he's good.
Make sure he's tilted sideways when you do that at least. I want him choking.
Yes! Turn him on his side!
She turns very slowly and looks back out the window.
On his side. I should have thought of that a long time ago.
Oh, goodness. It's a miracle any of us are still alive.
Yes, it's beautiful, isn't it? But day 2 passes without too much going on. You want to say something, Jaden? You keep looking like, I need to say it.
Oh, no, I'm just saying I have my, list of things from that I might have gone over.
Sure, go ahead. Day 3, morning, and you guys are starting to get used to actually reading a little bit and understanding some of the language, but Finavir has some words that he would like you to hear.
All right. Let's see if we can get through the Merchant's Creed. So if I say G, is that going to be a problem? Because I have an acronym that's used for the tenets.
Sure, you can. You that's fine.
All right.
You're translating. This is being translated for the audience.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because we can't do subtitles. G's for generosity, R for reputation, E for economics, E for ethics, and D for desire. Each equally important.
Ah, D for disaster. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that not the right one?
No, that's the right one.
It just might be.
Wait a minute. I may not really know this Arthdal too well, but last time I checked my American alphabet, you just spelled one of the 7 deadly sins there, Finavir.
Oh, greed. Greed is good.
Sorry, but it's one of the 7 deadliest sins.
What is a sin?
It's like one of the-
Deadly?
Oh, yeah, they're quite deadly, actually.
That's an old biblical concept.
Okay. Let me see if I can put it into terms so you can understand. Without ambition, what is anybody?
I used to have an uncle named Greed. Oh, wait, no, that was Guido?
Was he green? And did he have big black eyes?
Did he shoot first?
I don't get your American folktale references.
She looks very seriously.
He had the darkest eyes I've ever seen. He was really nice. Used to give me big wads of cash.
Was he a smuggler?
No, he was part of the... Never mind.
I don't know. Kind of sounds like he's a smuggler now when you kind of just brush it off like that.
He's not a smuggler. He was part of my family.
Yeah, Smoot,
mafia
didn't you have a family member who would randomly show up, sometime around the holidays and just give you a wad of cash?
No. That
No?
would have been really nice, though. How do I get one of those?
Yes, I'm here.
Well, as you guys are having this conversation, you actually hear the wagons and you feel them come to a slow stop. But the strange thing is, it's still the middle of the day.
I don't like this. Oh, no. Are there bandits again?
Now,
It
there's
could be
no
worse.
shouting.
Orangeburg. Oh, goodness, he could have probably gone past us by the time we stopped for 2 or 3 days and then double backed and is blocking our way in front of the road.
But then again, he does have to pack up an entire military camp.
Which was a couple of days south of Ashby, so...
So what's going on? Should we go check? Check again?
I will strap on my bandolier and take a peek outside.
Okay. Kelsey actually picks up her crossbow and seems to knock an arrow on it.
I will also grab my crossbow.
Smoot picks up his great sword.
Okay. So
I walk to the door without a weapon and
Oh.
peek my head out.
Walking through the door, I ask Cerulean,
Cerulean, is everything okay out here? That's a good nerf. I think we're okay, guys.
Do I see anything outside?
he just looks happy to see you, and he actually starts to trot in place with his feet, and he stamps a little bit and does a little dance.
I pet him and give him some extra feet.
Oh, he nuzzles up against you, and he sticks his normally what you probably would do is you would hold like the bag in between your arms so you could pet. So he like shoves his face into the bag of feed.
Absolutely, and I just pet him the whole time.
Okay. So you guys step outside of the wagon, and does Alfred Kenneth stay in the wagon, or does he go out?
I would probably take a look outside at least. Wait, there were windows in the wagon. I open the window and peer out the window.
Okay, so you peer out the window. So as you all go out, you make your way around to the side of the wagons because you don't see anything behind you. You don't hear the sound of shouting or panic. In fact, what you notice is actually several of the people from the caravan actually have gotten down from their wagons. Some of them appear to be getting together bows, arrows, and you notice that the huntsman is basically instructing them, but his voice is relatively low, as if he's trying to keep the noise down.
I'll get in line.
Okay, so you go over.
All right. So, I think the spuggets are around the area. We can definitely get a good haul before we go back over to Lamb's Respite.
So this is what Finavir hears. Do you go over?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm following. You said the huntsman?
The huntsman. You actually notice as you walk over that the frog's hide has been tanned and it is stretched across the side of the wagon, which you recognize to be his. So you're feeding Cerulean still, Smoot and Alan. God dang it. Alfred, you're still inside the wagon?
I opened the window and stuck my head out.
I'm aware. I know you stuck your head out. Is that where you're staying?
Probably.
Okay.
Can I gather whether or not this is like his group or... Because I've seen people around the caravan.
You can tell that these are some of the more experienced of the members of the group. They appear to be very joyous and excited. And it seems to be like a crowd that the huntsman likes to hang out with.
Okay.
Well, I see you've come down from your high perches.
And he swaps his pipe over from the right side to the left side of his mouth.
What we got going on over here?
Keep your voice down.
What have we got going on over here?
We're going on a hunt.
Ooh.
Found spuggets in the area.
What's that?
He raises an eyebrow and chews on his pipe.
I see. I don't know very much.
I'm not familiar with the local wildlife.
Do I know what spuggets are?
You can roll a knowledge nature.
Yay! 17.
Okay. You remember, Finavir, that the spuggets are essentially, they're known to be very docile creatures, but they have a very foul odor, but they also have very sweet meat. They are four-legged and sit low to the ground. Their bodies somewhat oblong, and they also have a very long snout that they use to pick up things from the ground and also reach into brushes to grab different fruits from berry bushes and whatnot. They have two linear streaks that run parallel on either side of their backs, and in a way, and just so the audience kind of understands better, it's almost like a pig with skunk stripes and an elephant's nose, but they're small and short.
So kind of like a tapir?
A little bit like a tapir, with a little bit longer of a nose. But you also know that the odor that they put out is a self-defense, but it is also known that this can cause a hallucinogenic effect and is well sought after in some more black market areas and also some health areas as well.
Okay.
Great for amputations.
Okay.
I'm gonna go get a spear and my bow.
So he does give you a brief explanation, not as detailed as that. He basically just tells Alan Taylor what they look like and that they taste good.
I'm on board.
He does not inform you about the odor, though.
Don't care.
Okay, sounds good. So you go back and you go to the wagon, grabbing your weapon, your bow and your arrow.
I grab my bow, my arrows, and my spear.
Okay.
Whoa. Dad, tell him what's going on. Hunting. What are we hunting?
Sweet meat.
Okay. Best of luck to you then.
Bye.
Finavir, are you sticking around with the hunting party, or do you return to the wagon?
Oh, no, I'm hyped up. It sounds like everyone's joyous to get some extra loot, so the hunting party. Is it whoever hunts what they hunt?
So,
is there attacks?
So essentially, the huntsman gives you a brief explanation. This is a group hunt. You are just trying to get one or two of these creatures, essentially, just to sell meat on the market, as well as get their hide and the the odor glands that they have.
Do all the proceeds go to the hunter and we get a kickback, or do we get it and then have to give him a kickback because he found them or something?
Well, the benefit is if you get 2, you get to eat the meat. Otherwise, it's mainly for contributing directly to the wagon.
Okay.
The caravan.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Well, I would, of course, go to the party at some point and try to see who I can pull.
Okay. So you go back to the wagon that you guys are staying in, and you pop your head over.
All right. Looks like we have a chance to pull our own weight, so to speak, and potentially get some nice grub. Mest, this might be something more suited to your abilities. If we can manage to kill these creatures without damaging the insides, it can be preferable. Your blasts tend to do more damage to the outside.
I mean, I guess. Sure. You can try.
If it wouldn't be too much trouble, I would certainly appreciate the help.
I'll grab some of my supplies to make some bombs and head out with them, I guess.
Okay.
I'll share everything I know with Mest about everything from the sacks to the smell to the meat, what they look like and whatnot. Did anyone else volunteer to come?
Kelsey does not want to go. She heard about the odor thing and she said, "No, not my thing."
Oh, fair enough. Okay, Smoot, not up for more exercise?
Unless this is Texas and we're hunting these pigs with helicopters, I think I'm out.
Oh, you got your new fancy sword, though.
Last time I checked, I thought this was a stealth mission, not a raging, screaming, charging at them with a giant steel stick mission.
Well, can't you you're charging quietly?
I don't know if that works. Well, while the caravan stopped, I might go around to some of the merchants and just chat up a little bit, but...
All right. Try not to offend anyone.
I know, don't Americanize things too much.
Well, you've been doing pretty good so far. You got us paid, so I'm thoroughly impressed. In that case, the 3 of us will be off.
All right. So you guys, you go over and you meet up with the huntsman and his crew. He gives you some very brief instructions before he notifies you that as you go out, just to be careful not to get split up from the group as best as you can. And also, that it shouldn't take too long. So, you guys head out. It only takes maybe about 6 minutes of tracking. All of you just really quick roll a stealth for me.
14.
11.
Oh boy, 25.
As you guys are sneaking through, some of you are making a little bit more noise than others, and as you get closer to the creatures, and you're notified by the huntsman who essentially tells you to quiet down, and he gestures for you to slow down, you guys come upon a small, what appears to be almost clearing in some of the tall grass, and you see that it has been, in a way, trampled down and smashed down by some of these small, wide-eyed, little pig-looking things with long trunk snouts and 4 little legs as they run around and they're playing. These appear to be about actually 4 of them. There is one that is probably a medium-sized creature, and you can see the male parts beneath. The family jewels were well endowed, so to speak. So, you see that they are essentially playing and just enjoying their time. But as you get closer, somebody ends up stepping on a branch and it snaps. But as it happens, the huntsman essentially just shouts, "Now!" I want you all just to roll to hit for me really quick, doing whatever you normally would do.
Okay. I would like to try to sleep one of them. Will of 14 to negate.
Okay. There are 2 that are nearby you. There is the larger one, which is the male, and then the smaller, one of the smaller ones is nearby as well. Which one are you trying to hit with your spell?
Since I don't want to get too greedy with the hit dice, I'll hit the smaller one.
And what is the save that it has to make?
15, and it lasts for 4 minutes.
Well, what is it against? Is it wisdom?
Will.
Will, thank you. The larger of these spuggets actually seems to have noticed the presence of you guys initially, and it actually scurries off before your spell can hit. But Finavir, your spell actually does successfully hit this smaller spugget, and you see that as its body kind of just falls over, and you hear this little tiny sound. And then Alan Taylor, you knock an arrow and you pull back and you release it.
I want to shoot at the biggest one.
I'm going to roll a d4 for randomness because they are scattering and running.
That's fair.
That way, because otherwise I'm going to put you at a penalty to try and hit the larger one, which is already bolting into the brush. Okay. You actually do end up hitting the larger of the spuggets.
Yes.
In the hindquarters. Please roll damage. If you can kill it, good. That'd be interesting.
11.
Okay. So, Alan Taylor, your arrow flies and you actually hear it thunk into the fatty meat of this creature, and it does seem to squeal very loudly and almost like let out this weird trumpeting sound as well. It's like a mixture, but it does not seem to fall to your bow's damage. But it does seem to be relatively hurt, and you do see that it is still running away, though, with your arrow in its hindquarters.
My arrow!
What about for Alfred? What happened there?
Thrown a bomb in the most congested area, so just threw a bomb trying to hit the most things, and then it would have been 5 damage to whatever it hit.
Okay. You actually see that as they're like randomly running around in panic, you do manage to hit one of them with the splash damage, one of the smaller ones, which takes the 5 burning damage. And you also notice that a small fire starts in the grass nearby.
Well,
I was told to come along.
You're not wrong.
You'll roast him alive. I love it.
Yeah, along with us.
If you get the fire, you're fine.
Experience
The
burning down a forest.
The
we can
area,
stamp it out.
the area has mainly been trampled down, so a lot of it is just muddy, but there is a small patch of grass like towards the center that is now like burning.
You know, they say good meat can fall off the bone, but they never do specify how.
So are we giving chase?
Actually, the one that has fallen onto the ground, one of the huntsman's people actually walks up and slits its throat, and so that basically just dies.
Coup de grace.
Coup de grace. Actually, no. No, they wouldn't slit the throat. No, they would just stab it in the heart. So they stab it in the heart because it's already asleep.
Okay.
Quick death. So they stab it in the heart, and then you actually see as the huntsman loads up his crossbow, and he lines up his sight on the boar that the larger spugget that you hit, and he releases it, and you see this crossbow bolt just fly through the grass, and a few moments pass, and you hear a loud thunk, a loud squeal, and a thud as the larger spugget does get downed. And you now have 2 of the spuggets.
Nice. I go to high five the huntsman.
He looks at you very confused. He's holding the pipe in one hand, like in his mouth, and the crossbow in the other.
Whatever. Put my hand down.
I'm just imagining him doing this. It's beautiful. This is a 2-handed crossbow, by the way, and he's just nonchalantly just holding it like, yep, I got this, it's fine. So congratulations. The experience from this would have been negligible with all of the other NPCs. It's like 10 from that.
I'm not worried about
everyone.
Yeah. So, but you guys end up bringing back these spuggets, which are then cut up, and you guys are provided a meal later in the evening. But I will say one thing. You got lucky because they did not spray.
I don't think any of our party got close enough.
No, they did not. But they did not spray in the area.
Yeah, Plan B probably would have got us sprayed.
What was Plan B?
Charge.
Plan B was Court of Shards.
The meat is prepared that evening. It is some of the most savory meat that you guys have had. It is delicious, and honestly, it is a taste you probably would never forget after that evening. But you guys load back up into the wagons, and, well...
I save a bite.
You save a bite. Okay,
Yes.
You save a bite.
For CC.
All right. She's very grateful.
This is, how I would say is amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Everybody was given some, but she's just...
Oh. I didn't think about the fact that she would have been there. Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad I got more. That's exciting.
It's like hand to the boy. Hey, you want to finish this?
She greedily eats it up. Another day passes, and the way has been clear. On one day, there is some relatively foul weather in the sky. You hear some thunderstorm clouds overhead, but it doesn't seem to break. It seems that as you guys continue to ride through, you pass out from the marshes back into a plains region. And finally, you notice that you start heading almost uphill. As you guys recognize this, it's late in the evening. 6 days do pass without really any other difficulty. After the several days of travel, it seems you have finally made it to your destination. The secret base of Lamb's Respite greets you with tall stone walls and a metal gate. Atop the stone, you see the flickering of yellow lights moving along the frame of it, which you realize must be the guards. And of them, there are many. The wagons slowly pull in through the gate as they swing inward with a groan. The aurochs guide the vehicles along a path around a hill. Impressively, though it is dark out, it is well lit here. You find yourselves on top of a plateau. The light of the village of this area actually is not all that leaves you in surprise. High up on this plateau, on a larger hill, hundreds of lights, both from within spilling out into the night, as well as from below, illuminate a massive castle structure. And on top of it, a stone statue of a warrior, glowing in the lights. You have finally made it to Lamb's Respite. And so, we'll have to find out what happens on the Gate Chronicles at Lamb's Respite. That's it from me, foundlings. So, if you've enjoyed today's episode and you've been enjoying the story or the podcast thus far, please consider leaving us a rating and a review in whatever listening app that you are listening on. You know, if it's YouTube, hey, leave a comment, subscribe, do that thing that people do on this thing. That thing, And if you want to support us in other ways, please consider going to our Patreon and donating to us monthly, where you can get access to early releases of episodes, GM notes. Yeah, I had to think about that for a second. And also, you can help us plan what other character art we're going to get commissioned for, merchandise. Oh, and that's another thing you can do. Go to our website, missingroleplayerfound.com. That's missing, ROLL, playerfound.com. And you can also purchase merchandise there, or merchandise, and you can get that one shirt that we keep talking about. I can't be responsible for sleeping, Finn. Honestly, I think it's the best shirt we got on there. Not gonna lie. All right. And make sure you guys are following us on our social media accounts, Twitter and Instagram at RollFound. And also make sure you join us in our Discord, where that link is in the description below. And you can chat with us, hang out, we talk about the podcast, and play games together. So please, foundlings, consider doing that. So this is Snow signing off until next week. Bye.
Bye.